So it is day one of NaNoWriMo. I'm not behind in word count, but I'm behind on everything else. On episode 74, season 18 of I Should Be Writing.
Well, I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
And hi there. Welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is the podcast for wannabe fiction writers. I am Mer Lafferty. This is my podcast. It has been for 18 years, and it is November 1st. You're going to hear this a couple of days later because production and time, but I'm recording it and live streaming it on November 1st, which means NaNoWriMo launch. So far, day one, I have 2,733 words on my new novella, which is tentatively titled The Matchmaker and the Assassin. And that's what I have to report. Other things are like, I got Patreon stuff done, but I haven't done my daily podcast for Patreon. that doesn't make any sense to you, does it? I got all the October deliveries in. I got the short story and the picture of the dog and the calendar and stuff, but not, but for today's Patreon reward of the daily podcast, I haven't done that yet. I'm doing an advent calendar during NaNoWriMo to give myself a treat every day. Thank you, Kids Are Asleep, for that hint. And today I got a sort of metallic blue called Bliss, and I'm not going to like open each one and test them every time because that would be messy and I would inevitably spill something. But I look forward to opening up 29 more samples of ink. Oh, I'm such a glutton. Man. So that's what I've been up to. I am trying to figure out how to put novel edits into this month, and I really need to remember that novel edits are more important than NaNoWriMo. Don't like it, but it's true. So I need to set my priorities. And yeah, everything else, I'm just taking it as it comes. Productivity, baby. Yes, Preemie and I send each other emails about fountain pen BS that on a mailing list we both get. It's ridiculous. I remember that, I think I mentioned the $14,000 fountain pen they were advertising. And see, I need to get this level of chutzpah because to be able to send out a newsletter and post a picture of something pretty, and when you link back to the site, it says $14,000. And you just put it in your newsletter like everybody who was following had that kind of cash in their pockets. Or even half the people had that kind of cash in their pockets. I need that kind of chutzpah. Dang. So let's talk about good news. I think my good news is just that yeah, I'm going out to dinner tonight, which is very exciting. Haven't gone to many restaurants in a couple of years. And, wait, I feel like I got a rejection in something. Why do I feel like that? I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, my good news is NaNoWriMo has started well. Good news, I figured out what I'm doing for ghosts in my ghost stories. Excellent. 3 more rejections for Star-Eyed Green. That is a total of 359 rejections for 2022. That's amazing. Does a rejection for a crossword puzzle submission count? If it is something that you submitted and you got a rejection, hell yeah, it counts. I mean, I counted myself getting rejected for a grant earlier this year. We got one rejection for the, yes. I'm with it. I'm good. Things are happening. I've got the yay button going. Maybe I should just hit the yay button whenever somebody subscribes. Hello, Ruth James, author. Sent my first novel off to an actual editor. Nail biting. That's amazing. Congratulations. We're going to cheer for that big time. Let's get some yay buttons in the chat. Because yay for Ruth. Welcome, Ruth James, author, and good luck with the first novel and the editor. No rejections for Underpope, but shepherd's pie for dinner. That's pretty cool. She's with it. Yay, excellent. I do have one piece of good news. I am notoriously bad. Not in my regular life. But I'm notoriously bad at remembering important anniversaries. Like, say, when I started podcasting, the birthday of I Should Be Writing, the fact that I just crossed the 700 episode mark for I Should Be Writing. Yeah, that was Saturday. Yeah, Summer emailed me and she's like, you do realize that season 18, episode 70 was episode 700 in the old way we used to count, right? I'm like, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was then, and I got so mad. Not that I would have done much, because it was a daily show, so there's not much I could have done. In case you're wondering how the hell I've managed to go 18 years and only get 700 episodes, I had a couple of years where I was not very prolific, and then I had a couple of years where I did a lot of special episodes, and I wasn't sure how to count those, so there's a lot of special interviews or other live things at cons. And then there's, of course, the times I've done the NaNoWriMo podcast daily for the regular I Should Be Writing feed. And then there's the time I've done it just for Patreon. So there's a lot more content than 700. But officially crossing the 700 episode mark is a pretty big deal. So, yeah. I can't believe that happened. So, I remembered when I hit like 200. And I was at Balticon celebrating that. Yeah. So yeah, 700 episodes, officially numbered, I guess you could say. Of course, numbers cease to exist once you've got all these extra special episodes here and there, but I don't care. I'm happy. 700. So this one's 703. Hopefully I will pay attention and hit 800 and realize it's actually happening. And what's funny is, I actually didn't plan anything for the episode today. I think it's because all I had in mind was, yay, NaNoWriMo, here it comes. And, in the daily show I did leading up to this, I talked about the various things you run into. If I considered having Preemie on as guest to talk about rainbows and butterflies and cheerful things, I would like to have Preemie on to tell me in great detail how she could beat up Matt. That's what I would like to have Preemie on for. Also, for Preemie's trilogy, to Preemie talk about Preemie trilogy. So, Preemie, come on the show and talk about your trilogy when you're done with Halifax, okay? Please. Matt and I discuss that every day. I know. That's why I thought it would be perfect. I've got these floating shelves up here. One day they're gonna fall. I know it. Yes, the Preemie's books are beautifully designed. The first one is Beneath the Rising. So. I'm okay. People are like, what do I read first? And I'm like, start with the one with the black and white cover. The one? You should at least number the rings, Preemie. Say the one with like the one ring on it. Tell my publisher. I will. Anyway, so the plan, Yeah, so I always feel like I do a bunch of planning both in support and as a writer. And then November comes and I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? I don't know. I'm just not a good planner. I'm not a good outliner. I'm not good at figuring out all of the various things that could go wrong or things that I could do. Like, I think I'm doing cool stuff to support my audience for NaNoWriMo, and then I hear what other people are doing, and I'm like, damn, well, I'm not doing half of that. So, yes, hi, puppy. She's downstairs. She's, yeah, we get her checked out, x-rayed in 10 days. And then hopefully we'll have some good news and get to start planning the surgery on the other leg. Yay. Good times. I just gotta remind myself again, I'll say it again, this is a fixable problem. Insurance is paying for it. She's able to get around with some help. It could be worse, you know? So that is, I did the equivalent of the mom lifting the car off the child when she injured herself and literally couldn't walk. She was just kind of standing there like, everything hurts, what do I do? And so I picked her up and carried her up the back stairs. And did not realize until later that was pretty impressive because I can't pick her up and take her down the front stairs, and there's just like 3 of those. So yeah, I will give her treats. You bet. I will give her treats when I go back downstairs to her. She gets lots of treats, which is hard. We got to remember to not treat her too much because she's not moving a lot. And I'm not trying to fat shame the dog, but we are dealing with her knees right now, so extra weight's not the best thing for her. But NaNoWriMo. What I did and how I'm approaching it is I'm trying to do those 2 stories that are sort of parallel. One of my favorite books that does this is A Close and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. Am I a Becky Chambers fangirl? Yes. Yes, I am. A Close and Common Orbit is possibly my favorite of her books. It just tells the story of 2 different girls and their coming of age in slightly 2 different time periods. And it's kind of hard to figure out how they intersect to start out with. And it's just amazing. I don't know. Anyway. And so I'm trying to think of that as I'm writing this book, which is, I'm trying to tell a story of essentially 2 people trying to do their jobs, but I'm also telling the story of how they got together to do the work in the first place. So I've got to work on pacing and stuff, but the good thing is, whenever I kind of hit a wall in one of the stories, I can just pivot to the next one and say, okay, well, what are these people doing now? So that's how I'm approaching the fiction side of it. I would also like to announce that For the Words, the RPG writing site, has had a complete revamp, and it is so much easier to get around now. And the UI was the one thing I had a big problem with, and that's fixed. So this morning it was like, sometimes even when something's an improvement, it takes a while to get used to. And I'm thinking, I'm taking my writing time to go on For the Words and try to figure out the site, but it did not take me long at all to get a sense of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to fight and how I wanted to write and all that. So I recommend it. I need to get my head on straight so I can do some giveaways, because I want to give away some subscriptions to For the Words if you enjoy the idea of RPG writing gamification. But yeah, I got on there and I did a couple of small monsters. There's a 50-word monster on there, which I guess we all start at different challenge points. But I thought that the 250 word monster was the smallest they had, but no, now they have like a 50 word gnat. So I fought that one and a couple of other larger word counts, and then I decided to fight the one that is the full NaNoWriMo word count, so the 1667. And I realized I did that in the wrong order, but I still managed to beat them all and ended up with 2733. I'm going to keep trying to do more than my word count because I know I won't be able to sustain a large goal. The daily large goal. There's also Pacemaker, which is a fantastic tool that lets you portion out your writing goals. But unlike NaNoWriMo, which just says do 1667 a day, you can tell Pacemaker, well, I don't want to write as much on the weekends, or I want to write more on the weekends, or I want to write a lot at the beginning of the month, or the middle of the month, or the end of the month. And it'll do the math and figure out, okay, well, if you want to do, I think it's called Bite the Bullet, then you need to do 3,000 words today, and then it's fewer and fewer words every day of the month. And it's a fantastic tool. The only thing that doesn't work is the random one, because it really does get random. So you'll have one day where the word count goal is like 5,000, and then the next day it'll be like 49. So I don't think that kind of scheduling is sustainable, even if you see it coming. Still, the 5,000 word day. Of course, after I do a 5,000 word day, I may have only 49 words in me for the next time. I'm a slow writer. I would lose to all the monsters. Well, there's also, are you a slow writer, or do you pause a lot? Because there are monsters that require you to keep writing, or else you lose to them, which is like the Write or Die software, the one that does loud lights. I'm a writer. I can describe things. Bright lights and screeching noises if you stop writing. And you can do the deadly method, which has it actually starts deleting words if you pause too long. Both low word count and lots of pauses. And yet you do NaNoWriMo and succeed all the time. I'm just in awe. How do you manage that? Let me check on chat for a moment. Lots of Becky Chambers love. I lose to so many 50 to 100 word monsters because they have such short timers. I start them and then squirrel. Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things the timer's supposed to keep you on point. Daniel says, as much as I want to hit the daily word count, I know I'm going to have down days. I'm trying to focus on the main goal because I know I'll write more on weekends than weekdays. Yeah, so go to Pacemaker, and it can tell you how much you need to write on the weekends in order to, make it easier during the week. For me, I prefer to write during the week because I just don't like going to my computer and doing stuff on the weekends. Both low word count and lots of pauses. Okay. Is likelihood 1 word or 2? Sometimes Scrivener's dictionary is missing some common words. I think it's 2. Written kitten is a better option for me. I have never heard of that. Apparently I've written 2,059 words today, but on the script for a lecture I've been asked to give. That could have been most of a short story. I hope you're getting paid for the lecture, though. Hopefully. One thing that was funny is I tried to do, I did an episode this weekend and talked about all the prep stuff, all the supplies you can get to make this month easier. And then I went shopping yesterday and did not get any of them. I was in a hurry. I was doing a lot yesterday, and then I basically went to Target, and I'm like, I need envelopes, and I need my medicine, and that's all I got. So, all that cool ideas of getting all these snacks ready and rewards and stuff, no, not for me. I'm getting paid a little bit. Okay. Written Kitten gives you a cat picture every so many words. That is cool. That's writtenkitten.co. Okay, that's a good that is a good crap, what's the word? Excuse me. Reward. I've not been sleeping well. Oh, and yeah, Valerie just put it in the Discord. I have a NaNoWriMo Discord that I don't talk about enough. This is open to everybody. You don't need to be a Patreon supporter. I'm going to try to make sure that Summer puts it in the show notes or, put a note for it in the show notes if I don't get you the invite, Summer. But, yeah, so I do have a Discord for Patreon supporters, but I also have a and Twitch supporters, I should mention. Not really sure how all that fits together. But if you're a Twitch subscriber and not a Patreon supporter and you want to get into the website, the Discord, let me know. Thank you, Kids Are Asleep. The Nano Discord link is in the chat, and we'll put it in the show notes. And that's just a place where we go and talk about NaNoWriMo. I tried to put an RPG bot in there to sort of make a breaks channel, but I couldn't get it to just stick to the breaks channel. And then it was like yelling at us for cutting logs and catching fish and stuff while we were trying to talk about NaNoWriMo. So I killed that bot. No more RPG bot, sorry. So yeah, it's I'm happy with how I started out. I usually have a reasonable day one and then fall off because what we forget is, well, it's fun to talk about and fun to talk about rewards and doing word wars and sprints and checking in with your municipal liaisons and everything. It still boils down to writing, and you still need to sit down and do the work. And I worked most of this morning, and I got some good words down, but I felt like it took me too long to get those words. I should have been a little bit more focused. But yeah, I'm just trying to take things one thing at a time, and whatever I get done, I'll get done, and whatever I don't, well, I'll do my best tomorrow. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions about NaNoWriMo, put it in the chat. If you have any questions or suggestions and you're listening to this podcast later, feel free to email me, mightymur@gmail.com, and we can talk about them on the next stream. For people who aren't doing it, first I apologize, because that's a lot of what we're talking about in November. We find the community as really helpful. But I can understand if it's really annoying for people who are not participating this year, either because you don't want to stick to the schedule, or you're not writing anything right now, or you're editing something, or whatever. Just to let you know, we're here for you too. And if you have a general writing question, or editing question, or whatever, let me know, because I can answer those as well. We're just a little single-minded with the NaNoWriMo stuff, but can be redirected if we need to be. Shards had 1,673 words now. Fantastic! You passed the mark. You passed the mark. Well done. Can you please help me kidnap my internal editor and lock it away somewhere until the end of the month? I'm trying to write and he keeps getting in the way. This would have to be something that is metaphorical. I have worked with two creativity coaches, one specifically for internet creation stuff and one for general creative career creation stuff. Anyway, personal coaches focused on creativity careers. And both of them had a sort of internal critic, inner bully, inner editor activity where we had to draw it, and we had to give it a name, and we had to fold it up and just imagine it getting quieter and quieter. Sometimes we stood on it or stamped on it. It felt a little weird, but the actual activity of doing that it helps a little bit. You know, if you give what is bugging you, give it a face and a name. And then you can point the face away from you or turn it down so it can't see you. You know, kids are onto something when, you know, they've don't let their stuffed animals see something or hide from the person who's not there in the room. That kind of visualization's powerful. So that is what I suggest. If you want me to kidnap your inner critic and keep it away for a month, I'm going to say you have to do that. And you can. Draw it. Even people who can't draw. Mine looks like a potato. Partly because I imagine it as a potato. But my drawing was like a potato. With stick arms doing this. And, you know, crossing that out and folding that up was an interesting visualization. So try it. You got nothing to lose. Or Premio Disco, get the duct tape. That works too. I did add a section in Scrivener called Edits to Worry About Later in hopes I can dump those inner editor thoughts until I'm ready to actually edit. That's interesting. Telling your inner bully or inner editor that they can have their time to say bad things to you, but they have to give you your time to do stuff. That can work too. There's a little Java app called Worst Draft, which shuts out the internal editor while you're writing by disabling the backspace key, except for the last few keystrokes. Wow, Kurt, that's I don't know if I'd like that. Little text editor, and the backspace key is only disabled in the app, of course. Yes. I'd like to request that potato as an emote here or on Discord, please. I can do that, actually. Let me write that down. Potato. I'm going to need to find another emote creator, though, because my artist is busy with college and other art stuff. So I'm going to need to find... Although I drew the potato myself, so I could probably draw it, except the emotes are so tiny, it's going to need, like, shading and stuff to make it pop. So, we'll see. But yes, the potato is an emote. That sounds like a good idea. Underpope says, my inner critic is a dude who lives in the basement in a mess of potato chip bags and beer cans who yells at me that everything I do is shit. Yeah, Underpope, I think you need to reenact the scene from Breakfast Club with, yeah, Dad, what about you? Try that. I got all the answers, guys. Come on, bring it on. Put the nasty bully through the paper shredder is cathartic. Good. I'll handle this later, thanks. Yes. There are a truly amazing number of writing tools and websites that I'd never hear about until I watched this stream. Same, Preemie. I'm not the one bringing them. It's all chat. They have amazing advice, and I'm so glad they put them here. Potato moat. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to need someone to do my potato moat. Yeah. Yes, let me write in my notebook and or my blank Google Doc, and that is it. I'm a boring insect. No, Preemie, you're not a boring insect. You're an award-winning, award-nominated, amazing author. And you can beat up Matt. Question, are there any pitfalls to look out for as someone who has never written a novel before? It's all pitfalls. Yes, actually. You're going to get the design, you're going to get an idea about 5,000-10,000 words in that's going to make you think, this does not jive perfectly with the first chapter. And you're going to want to go back and fix it. Don't do that. Just move on as if you'd been writing it that way the whole way through. Around 35,000 words, you will know that, you will know in your heart that it's crap. And you'll think back to what I'm saying now, and you'll think, yeah, Mer says it happens to everybody, but no, for me, it's actually true. Yes, everybody else has this hang-up around 40,000 words. But no, in me, it's actually true. This really is crap. I know it. And then you remind yourself that I said you would say that too, and keep going. This is, it should have a name by now, how many authors get this, like, first third or mid-book malaise of everything I do is crap, I'm never going to finish another book, and if I do, it will also be crap and my career is over. Even Neil Gaiman hits that point. Yes, he does. Preemie, Valerie, if you guys disagree with me, let me know, but I definitely get it. And I get that feeling of, okay, well, it's like that, okay, so everybody says they have imposter syndrome, but I'm the one who really has it. Everybody says they have this hang up at 35,000 words, but no, this is me realizing the book really is crap. And then you ask someone to read it and tell you that you haven't shamed your ancestors, or is that just Ursula? I don't like having people read my stuff, because even if I tell them that I'm very, 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 very vulnerable, I'll think that if they say anything good about it, then they're saying it because I'm vulnerable. So there's no winning. But yeah, Ursula has the, I think she gives it to her husband, and she says, I don't think this is scary, and he's hiding under the covers often. So, and I don't think Ursula's ever shamed her ancestors. Yes, it makes me make amazing pterodactyl noises, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, this happened last time. Wow, Preemie, that is some impressive self-realization if you can remember that it happened last time and you just keep going. Because sometimes when I realize it happened last time, I'm thinking, okay, so it happened last time, so but this time I'm right. It's just, I will have this feeling that this time is unique. And this time it really is crap. Even if it wasn't crap last time. I don't know. I have written many, many novels. Yes. How many have you written? I don't think I have all your stuff. I need more Preemie in my life. Hi, Catwood. Welcome. Good to see you again. Glad you could make it. We're talking about NaNoWriMo. We're talking about inner critics. We're talking about pitfalls that people get when they try a novel for the first time. Really, Daniel, the main pitfall is the harsh truth. Your first novel is probably not going to be publishable. But your first novel is not something you can skip. You can't skip it. So, if you're writing and you do feel like it's crap, let's say it is. Let's say it's absolute dreck. You're still learning something by doing it. You're still getting the first novel out by doing it. So, if you feel like it's crap and somehow you realize you're right, that's not a reason to quit. You'll get a better sense of how books are structured, how story is structured, how beginnings, middles, and ends work if you just push through than if you quit because it's crap. Just remember, you can't skip it. And your first book may be great. Don't get me wrong. It may be great, may be publishable, awesome. But it also may not be. Most people's are not. But it has to happen. The first one has to happen. So that is the main pitfall. First worrying that you're crap, and then letting the worry, whether it's true or not, stop you from continuing. Because I can probably guarantee that if you're stopped writing because the book is crap and you start a new book, you've just taught yourself that you stop whenever things get hard and move on to the next project, which means you may never finish one. So, embrace the crap. Indeed. That's it exactly. And I hate being like... I hate doing the tough love. You know, I try to be all friendly and huggy to the new writers, but at some point you do realize that you do have to write, even if it sucks. Even if you don't like it. You will get something out of finishing it. Underpope's first book was 10 pages. He wrote it when he was 5. It was about a tornado. That's awesome. Preemie wrote 400,000 words easily. It was so awful. People were just getting lost all over the place. I think I left some characters in a cave. Oh my god, I want to read this. There were unicorns. I forget why. You don't need to have a reason for unicorns. Exactly. Yeah, I did a book about my friends and unicorns when I was young. And I didn't finish it. Luckily, I did manage to start finishing books later in my life. But, yes, Kids Are Asleep says, the toughest love is no one cares whether you write or not, so you have to care. I remember, it wasn't even my question. But I was interviewing Neil Gaiman one time, and I said, you know, what do you tell people who you know, they want to quit? He's like, okay. And I'm like, that's the harshest thing I've ever heard this really nice man say. Wow. And he's just like, I can't make you. If you want to do it, you'll do it. And if you want to quit, you'll quit. And he wasn't saying it in a judgmental way, but like Valerie just said, no one cares. Which is awesome because you can do anything you want. It's so freeing. It took several novels to learn how to end a story. Yes, Preemie. I think I'm having trouble ending short stories. I was realizing that today when I wrote. I was happy with the story. It's flash. It's kind of a vignette. It's nothing. I shouldn't be putting my own work down here, but I was satisfied with it till I got to the end, and then I'm like, how do you end a vignette? Because there's no like real big conflict thing. But anyway, I will learn more as I write more. Yes, it is okay to not write. Never underestimate my willingness to quit in the face of adversity. Shauna wrote their first book in grade 7. It is Space Dwarves. Space Dwarves? Written by hand in handwriting that was based off the California Raisins font. Wow, there's so much going on there. I am put to shame. How do you end a vignette? Preemie, I'll send you the story. I ended it by creating a new social media network. Random thought to kids do kids these days know the song that never ends? I wonder how the random kid stuff from Yore still exists. I keep quoting Better Off Dead, which predates the song that never ends by a good 20 years or so. And I don't care. I'm still quoting Better Off Dead. Because every time I think about the mood I try to bring to this podcast, it's buck up, little camper, we'll beat that slope together. Of course, this was the guy who was snorting snow like it was cocaine. I was really excited because he was trying to figure out the street value of the hill. But aside from that, it's a really good quote. Gotta head out to get some words in before work. Good to see you, Firewriter. Good luck. I had a therapist who advised me to quit writing. I nearly fired him at that moment. Maybe I should have. He had great insights for the other areas of my life, though. Yeah, you don't have to take everybody's advice. Not your therapist, not mine, not your parents. You don't have to. Sometimes you do know what's best. I think there have been people who've thought I should quit writing. There were people who thought I shouldn't get my MFA, but I got a lot out of it, and I'm happy I did it. One day I will learn how to pace a short story. One day. Well, the way to do it is keep writing, you know? Yes, Teal Deer, $2. Awesome. Yes, and I am known as the pun hater, but the testicles pun is one of my favorites of all time. Okay, good. People in the chat know Better Off Dead. Excellent. In hindsight, what the hell was that burger side thing? It's like the dream sequence in Singing in the Rain. It's like suddenly there's an animated burger singing a Van Halen song or something Van Halen-like. And go through the entire stop motion of the burger singing the Van Halen song. And then, yeah. Hey, Summer! Yes, Everybody Wants Some by Van Halen. I was right! Oh my god. I was right that it was Van Halen. Wow. The tentacle pun. There's a French girl who is, her home family. Again, the movie doesn't age well. A lot in the 80s do not, but the family was seeing her being an exchange student as basically being his mail order bride, and she was complaining. She didn't speak any English, and she refused to speak English around them. The main character finds out because she says he already takes his any opportunity to put his testicles all over me, and he's like, "Excuse me. What is he doing? Tentacles. Testicles. Like octopus, wavy arms. Put his testicles all over me." He's like, tentacles. N-T. Tentacles. Big difference. Sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. Yes. Yeah, but good movie. Well, I've been going for an hour, and I have a daily show to record. So if you're just coming in, this is the reward for writing NaNoWriMo Day 1. It is the ink called Bliss. I might break it open and do a swatch. Apparently that's a thing I have to do. I didn't know. So yeah, I need to record that. So I need to get off of here so I can record there. And then I'm like going out to dinner like an adult. Just weird. What kind of pen am I using? I have a couple of fountain pens. None of them are here. Yeah, I have two LeMay pens. I forget the names of them. I'm not a good fountain pen snob. I've just become a fountain pen enthusiast, but not a snob yet because I don't know the names of anything. I did splurge to celebrate my book coming out and buy a really nice pen for myself, and very happy with that purchase. But of course now I'm terrified of hurting it or losing it. $2,251 words for the day. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Shards. You're an inspiration to all of us. That's amazing. But anyway, I will be back on Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday streams at 3 o'clock, still Eastern Time. And to find out more about me, merverse.com and mightymur@gmail.com. I didn't even talk about the whole social media BS. I have lots of feelings about it. But I still have an account over at the Bird site. It is Mighty Mur. TikTok, Mighty Mur. Instagram, Mighty Mur2. I don't even remember why. And, yeah, that is the plan. Find me. I have a book. It's called Station Eternity. It came out. People seem to say it's good. I didn't like it at 35,000 words, but I do now. So, Station Eternity. I'm working on book 2, Chaos Terminal. And, that's all about me. You can search for me on your podcatcher, search for me on the internet. I have a very Googleable name. So, cover is still awesome. It is, indeed. Oh, Sixth House, hello. Thanks for dropping in. Good luck today to everyone still pushing for that word count. Yes, good luck to everybody. And welcome. Hope to see you again. I Should Be Writing is available to you under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Theme music by John Anelio. Art by Numbers Ninja. Production by Summer Brooks. And hosting by Libsyn. Find all of this information and more at merverse.com. And remember, we can't do this without you. Thanks for your support.
I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who. I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.